there, Liam. Hope everything's going okay on your end and soccer's going well. It's your video lesson for today. 4 things I want to talk about, and then a question. And then if you have any questions for me at the end of that video, have your mom or your dad shoot me over a message. I'll be more than happy to respond with a video or an answer. But cool, man, let's get to it. So I'm going to start at the end. I'm going to start with number 4 and work my way backwards just because I started this video and I realized I have an electric guitar in my hand. So to save myself a few moments of time of bending down, picking up and switching guitars, I'm going to start at the end and work my way forwards. So first thing is the question. What do you want to play for the recital? Send me over what you plan on playing and like its final form. And if it happens to be Circles, the Post Malone tune, what do you plan? What's our arrangement, or how are we planning on going about doing this thing? This one here, with the chords that he's using, it would be more difficult to solo over top of this. Mostly speaking to the F major to F minor change. That right there makes it a really difficult one to solo over top of with just a plain pentatonic scale. And also too, I think it's a pretty song, so I think soloing over top of those chord changes wouldn't be the best thing I think to do with this one. I think it'd be more interesting to do more like improvisatory satelliting with the chord changes. I think that would be more interesting. But to do that though, I need to have you in the room so I can coach you through something like that, because it'd be kind of like doing it this way, it'd be kind of like talking you down while you're flying a 747. I'm in the control tower trying to talk you down to land on the runway. So I would hope that we would plan at least one in-person lesson, or maybe a virtual lesson before the recital. I think that would be almost necessary for a successful performance with that. So I highly encourage you guys to come in for a lesson before the recital, so that way I feel really confident putting you up there and that we're going to have a successful recital. So. Cool. Back to Circles. Good. I'm seeing that you're really enjoying the tune. I like the rhythm that you're putting in there for the strum. What I'd like to see though is that we have to kind of take in consideration when working on a piece, whether it's rock or classical or jazz or fusion, country, blues, or anything like that. What makes that style? And so. If we're playing, like, say, Green Day, then the elements of music that you have to consider are rhythm, pitch, and then another important one is tone, color, or timbre. What does the instrument sound like, and does it sound like that genre of music? So I would never go and play Smells Like Teen Spirit. I wouldn't play that necessarily with like my Super Phaser and like my Memory Boy pedal over here and then like tons of reverb, because that's just not the character of that song or genre. So even though like the distortion you picked it out is nice and everything, I think for this song it kind of loses some of the harmonic richness by having too much distortion covering up those pretty chords that you're playing, right? They're beautiful. And there's really nice extensions in the song. That's probably why it's a hit, why it resonates with a lot of people, is because of the richness of the harmony. It's refreshing. You don't hear a lot of that stuff in pop music, so whoever his producer is did a good job. So what I would like for you to do is come up with a more subtle tone color. Like I said, get into your amp and play with that modulation knob. If you don't plan on getting the cable to hook it up to your computer, what I would suggest doing is going to maybe turning the distortion. I wouldn't use distortion on this one. I would go over here in that modulation knob. I would start fooling around with that. That's what I would suggest doing. Maybe a little bit of delay. Other thing is the harmonic rhythm in improvisation. So harmonic rhythm is like how fast chords are changing compared to the pulse in the music. So if I play the song like this, those chords are all moving at a certain rate. So if I play just a harmonic rhythm, those are all moving at a certain rate. And so what I would suggest doing for that one is playing just when the chord changes. That way you're aware of how much space you have to improvise different satelliting fingers. So first thing is to play. That's all cool. That way you're aware of how much room you have to play around with this one. And also too, I think you also need to slow down just a little bit too. I think you're cooking there with that tempo, so back off that tempo a little bit. It doesn't need it quite so fast. Once you have the rate of which the chords are changing, then you know, okay, I can do. Then you know what you can do in the time that you have. Also, too, make sure you learn the second half of that riff. I hear this part right here, but I'm not hearing that part right there. Cool. But like I said, it's coming in nicely. I think just like maybe tweaking the tone color a little bit, and then understanding the harmonic rhythm, how the chords are changing would be good to do. And then switching over to classical. I'm sorry, bars. Because you bars with your electric. So good. I'm glad that you're getting all the notes to ring out on your bar, no matter what position. Make sure you do the exercise that was assigned on 312. That's an important one too. First finger extensions, where I talked about that, where you're trying to get this here nice and tall. Trying to stretch those fingers, getting that first finger strong and stretching that out and getting the strength for that bar finger. What we should talk about next is actually practicing some bar to non-bar chord changes would be good to do. Namely, the one in the circles would be a good one to practice, so we'll talk about that next time. Right, see here, and then let's see here, going through Suzuki stuff is, so good on the arpeggio exercise. I like the tone color is very nice on that guitar, and your fingers too, right? So it's sounding really nice. Right, nice arpeggios. I see you're doing sequential placement of the fingers. Right. So what I'd like you to do next is the second permutation of the PMIA. So as I said before, if you always start with a thumb, there are 6 different patterns that you can have with P, I, M, and A. So the next pattern is going to be this. So we have P, I, A, M. So we reverse that M, A to make it A, M. So P, I, A, M, P, I, A, M. Right? Do that pattern for me. And then really the challenge for you in the book retonalization is the left hand, right? I'm not too worried about the right hand. It's looking really nice. The left hand's the one that I would like you to spend time on. Knowing which fret goes what and where. There's a hiccup that happens each time, and it happens right about here in the danger zone. So what I would suggest doing is going through each one. Let's just start a loud tune, that's all right? Making sure you absolutely know which finger plays on what fret and when, right? Because like I said right here, there's a little hiccup. And if you're trying to play the right hand, work on the right hand, and you work on something difficult over here, it's hard to work on 2 difficult things at the same time. So make sure you separate that, do the arpeggio, right? Then work on the left hand, making sure you absolutely know each time. If you can't do it more than 2 or 3 times in a row without mistake, then you need to slow down and do it again. Make sure you concentrate on which left hand fingers you use. Distracting. So if the goal would be, can you play that left hand, this left hand chord shapes 5 times in a row without mistake, up and down the fretboard. And if you're making mistakes, isolate which ones are you constantly having, are you going to the wrong fret So that's what I would do with that. Cool. So work on that, and then also the Paganini prep. I'd really like to see you play through the Paganini preparations for me. I mentioned those in the video for 312. If you go back to that handout, which I'm looking at right now, it's measures four. So measure four is the first one. Measure five is the second one. And then all it is then is just a matter of adding the index finger free stroke on the third string to have that section down. So I really would like to see a piece of either Suzuki or classical guitar for next time. So cool. Work on those things for me. If you have any questions, have your parents shoot one over for me. If not, I will see you on your next video installment. I won't be in next week. I'll be on spring break. So I will be missing in action next week. All right, take care.